Marcus Daniels gripped his boarding pass tightly as flight attendant Heather Stevens blocked his way. "Sir, this seat is needed for another passenger." The air in first class grew tense. Marcus, CEO of Pinnacle Investments, had finalized a $120 million SkyWest deal that morning, yet here he stood being displaced. At 42, Harvard-educated and raised in South Chicago, Marcus had built Pinnacle from nothing. His mother's mantra, "Don't let them define you," echoed now. Near the galley, Bradley Wellington, SkyWest's vice president of operations, watched. His stare carried the weight of privilege. When frequent flyer Richard Whitley appeared demanding the seat Marcus occupied, Bradley gave a nod. Heather's tone sharpened. "Sir, you'll need to move." Plastic cup instead of glass, clipped words instead of courtesy, small signals forming one deliberate wound. Marcus inhaled deeply, calculating. Defiance risked escalation, and the label disruptive. Compliance meant erasure, so he documented. Names, times, every word. He recognized orchestration, and he understood something else. Bradley Wellington had chosen the wrong man to humiliate. The attacks grew darker. Marcus's mother was harassed, his nephew bullied, his address leaked online. Security doubled, but the emotional toll was heavy. Yet Marcus pressed forward, flanked by families with similar stories of SkyWest discrimination. Their collective testimony shattered the myth of an isolated incident. Inside SkyWest's boardroom, fractures widened. Sandra Reeves, a senior member, reached out. "Bradley's gone too far. Some of us want to talk." The company was bleeding. Meanwhile, Bradley tried espionage, hiring contractors to hack Pinnacle's servers. Rahul, Marcus's cyber expert, trapped the attempt, tracing it back. Marcus's team then released Heather's recordings to trusted journalists. The proof of bias was undeniable. Kingston again phoned Marcus. "Settle. Release the funds." Marcus replied, "Fix your house. Bradley must go." Even Kingston's resolve began to crumble. Bradley Wellington reacted with fury. To allies and board members, he spun a new narrative. Marcus staged the incident to weaken SkyWest and acquire it cheaply. He cited Pinnacle's aggressive acquisitions, claiming Marcus had orchestrated scandals before. Media outlets amplified whispers. Bloomberg speculated on Pinnacle's liquidity. The Wall Street Journal questioned Marcus's temperament. Country clubs buzzed with rumors. Pinnacle was unstable, Marcus volatile. Within days, clients delayed deals, and a bank reviewed Pinnacle's loan file. But Marcus had expected the smear. His COO, Aisha Robinson, tracked every rumor, noting Bradley's fingerprints. Marcus prepared his counterstroke. Internal files on Bradley's past. 5 discrimination suits buried in settlements. Women executives forced out, minorities sidelined. Then came Heather Stevens' quiet call. Voice shaking, she admitted, "He ordered me to remove you no matter what. I have proof." The war shifted. Weeks later, Marcus spoke at Harvard Business School. "This was never about one seat," he told students. "It was about systems that normalize exclusion. Silence preserves them. Action dismantles them." Behind him, headlines flashed. SkyWest overhauls board. FBI probes corporate discrimination. Marcus Daniels Foundation for Equity established. Bradley faced trial. Kingston vanished from public life. SkyWest chastened, rebuilt under new leadership. Pinnacle Investments emerged stronger, reputation forged not just in profit but principle. Marcus acknowledged the toll, the danger to his family, the bruises of battle, but also the victory, proof that financial power could challenge injustice. "Change doesn't happen when you wait politely," he told the crowd. "It happens when you risk everything to demand it." Applause thundered. Outside, protesters turned supporters carried new signs. Business for change. Marcus smiled faintly. He hadn't just survived humiliation, he had turned it into a blueprint for justice, accountability, and a legacy bigger than wealth. Marcus went on CNN, describing the incident plainly. "This wasn't isolated," he said. "It's a pattern." His calm demeanor contrasted Bradley's fiery defense on Fox Business, where he sneered, "Every time a person of color doesn't get their way, they cry discrimination." Clips spread like wildfire. SkyWest's market value plunged another $1 billion. Celebrities shared stories of mistreatment. Civil rights groups announced investigations. Protesters gathered at airports with signs, "Ground SkyWest bias." Bradley panicked, releasing false rumors of Marcus's criminal past. They collapsed under scrutiny. Instead of weakening him, they underscored Bradley's desperation. Marcus leaned into the moment. On a podcast, he reframed the scandal. "This isn't about one airline. It's about an industry culture that normalizes exclusion." His words struck a nerve. SkyWest faced not only Marcus, but a movement. Heather and another former employee, Lisa, went public. On 60 Minutes, they detailed how Bradley ordered removals, buried complaints, and targeted minorities. Public outrage reached new heights. Politicians demanded hearings. The FBI opened inquiries. In desperation, Bradley planted false financial evidence in Pinnacle's systems, tipping regulators. Armed agents raided Marcus's offices. For a moment, headlines turned, but Rahul revealed the hack. Metadata traced directly to Bradley's network. Within days, the FBI cleared Pinnacle and turned its spotlight on Bradley. The board, horrified, convened without him. Sandra led the push. Bradley is a liability. Stock collapsed, clients vanished, and regulators circled. Bradley was running out of allies. Heather met Marcus at a quiet cafe, sliding a USB across the table. Emails, recordings, memos, it's all here, she whispered. Bradley had bribed and threatened staff, even offering Heather a promotion if she signed a false report against Marcus. Hours later, her apartment was ransacked, files stolen. Marcus tightened her security. Bradley escalated further. Marcus's investigator was run off the road. Sky West issued a false statement. Marcus voluntarily gave up his seat, but dozens of passenger videos proved otherwise, shredding the lie. Meanwhile, Marcus rejected Kingston's settlement offer of hush money and a token board seat. This isn't about deals, he told him. It's about accountability. Public trust cratered further. Employees leaked internal memos describing reclassification of minority passengers. Bradley's grip loosened. Marcus knew the scandal had moved beyond corporate embarrassment. It was now an existential threat to Sky West's survival. By landing, Marcus's humiliation had gone global. A passenger's video, 30 seconds of calm refusal, followed by forced removal, spread across social media. Within hours, hashtags Nahud Justice for Marcus and hashtag Sky West Bias trended. News anchors replayed the footage, while bloggers and activists framed it as proof of systemic bias in corporate travel. Marcus's mentor Elijah called immediately. They picked the wrong one, he said. Meanwhile, Sky West scrambled. Bradley's team issued a hollow statement. We take passenger concerns seriously. The public wasn't convinced. Shares fell 12% overnight, wiping out $400 million in market value. Travel agencies suspended bookings. At his hotel, Marcus drafted demands: independent bias training, diversity reforms, a board overhaul, and Bradley's removal. Hours later, CEO Walter Kingston called. What do you want? Marcus answered evenly. Justice and accountability. Terms arrive tomorrow. For once, Sky West wasn't in controls. Under mounting pressure, Heather testified live, playing recordings of Bradley's direct orders. I don't care what his boarding pass says, move him. The words shook the nation. Bradley's smear campaign imploded. Shareholders revolted. Regulators announced formal charges of fraud and conspiracy. Walter Kingston, too, was exposed for protecting Bradley's misconduct. He resigned in disgrace. Bradley's final attempt at a press conference ended in chaos, reporters pelting him with evidence until he fled under guard. For Marcus, vindication was bittersweet. The cost had been high: threats, attacks, sleepless nights, yet the system that enabled Bradley had finally cracked. Sky West announced sweeping reforms, leadership turnover, diversity mandates, and oversight committees. The old guard had fallen. Under mounting pressure, Heather testified live, playing recordings of Bradley's direct orders. I don't care what his boarding pass says, move him. The words shook the nation. Bradley's smear campaign imploded. Shareholders revolted. Regulators announced formal charges of fraud and conspiracy. Walter Kingston, too, was exposed for protecting Bradley's misconduct. He resigned in disgrace. Bradley's final attempt at a press conference ended in chaos, reporters pelting him with evidence until he fled under guard. For Marcus, vindication was bittersweet. The cost had been high: threats, attacks, sleepless nights, yet the system that enabled Bradley had finally cracked. Sky West announced sweeping reforms, leadership turnover, diversity mandates, and oversight committees. The old guard had fallen. Sky West filed an emergency motion demanding the frozen $25 million. Judge Raymond Harrington presided. Their lawyers painted Marcus as vindictive. James Chen countered, citing force majeure. Extraordinary bias had altered the deal. The courtroom watched the viral video. Bradley testified smoothly, but cross-examination revealed contradictions. Outside, protests surged. Inside, Marcus noticed Harrington's bias, cutting off his counsel, favoring Sky West. The trial reeked of corruption. Later, Sandra Reeves confirmed Marcus's suspicion. Harrington was an old ally of Bradley's. Marcus pivoted. The case was bigger than a breach of contract. It was about systemic rot linking corporate leaders, legal enablers, and entrenched privilege.